If you're my age, especially a little bit older, you will remember Jodi Watley. At one point in time, Jodi Watley was just as popular as Whitney Houston. And she had that crossover appeal that Whitney Houston has. But she didn't have the staying power of a Whitney Houston. As is the case with many singers from a certain specific era, they didn't adapt to the times as well as others. And subsequently, they faded out of the spotlight. But it doesn't mean that she's still not doing her thing, because she still is doing her thing. She may be unsung, but she made her mark. Unbeknownst to many, Jodi Watley did not start off as a solo artist. She started off as a dancer and eventually became part of Shalimar. But it's when she debuted as a solo artist in the late 80s that she had her transcendent stardom. She was born in Chicago, Illinois in 1959, but grew up in Los Angeles. She made her stage appearance, her debut stage appearance at age 8 with family friend and godfather, the late, great Jackie Wilson. She got her start on the TV dance show Soul Train at the age of 14. In high school, she was voted Best Dancer in her senior class poll. In 1977, Ebony magazine crowned her as part of, quote, the new generation. Watley was one of the most popular dancers on the show Soul Train and recognized as a trendsetter for her style and dance moves. As a standout on Soul Train, she was selected to be part of one of the original members of the R&B group Shalimar. Later on, the lineup of Howard Hewitt, Jodi Watley, and Jeffrey Daniel would be the most successful entity of Shalimar. Watley remained with Shalimar from 1977 to 1983, and the trio released several albums and scored several hits, including the U.S. Top 20 Dead Giveaway and the R&B hits The Second Time Around, For the Lover in You, and A Night to Remember. You know, the song For the Lover in You, I love the sample that that was used by Big Daddy Kane. You know what I'm saying? I think it came out maybe 1989, 1990. That's one of my favorite songs ever. Because of conflicts within the group, however, eventually Jodi Watley left the group prior to the release of the Look album. After this, she moved to England, and it was there that she recorded a guest vocal with British Jamaican roots reggae group Musical Youth. She also recorded with Gary Langan, Ann Dudley, and J.J. Jegzelik, who later became Art of Noise. She also had a brief stint with Phonogram Records, where 2 singles were released in the United Kingdom, Europe, and Australia, though not in America, under the moniker Jodi. And she also took part in Bob Geldof's Band Aid recording of Do They Know It's Christmas. But it was after this period, after 2.5 years in England, when Jodi Watley returned to America and secured a recording deal with MCA Records, where she took off. Her debut solo album, titled Jodi Watley, was released in March of 1987, and she co-wrote 6 of the album's 9 songs. In an interview with Rolling Stone, Watley would say that she wanted to showcase her voice against funky and hard dance tracks. The album's lead single, Looking for a New Love, became a hit and was certified gold. The album peaked at number 10 on the U.S. Billboard 200, number 1 on the top R&B hip-hop albums chart, and sold 2 million copies in the United States and a total of 4 million copies worldwide. It produced 5 up-tempo dance and R&B singles that charted on the Billboard Hot 100, with 3 peaking within the top 10. Looking for a New Love Still a Thrill, Don't You Want Me, Some Kind of Lover, and Most of All. Also included on her debut album was a duet with George Michael, Learn to Say No. At the 30th Annual Grammy Awards in 1988, Jodi Watley won the award for Best New Artist, and she was nominated for Best Female R&B Vocal Performance. That same year, she also received nominations for 4 MTV Video Music Awards and 3 Soul Train Awards. In the spring of 1989, Watley released her second studio album, Larger Than Life, co-writing 11 of the songs of the album, 12 songs. The album sold over 4 million copies worldwide, reaching number 16 on the Billboard 200, and produced 4 singles: Real Love, Looking for a New Love, Friends, which featured Eric B. and Rakim, and Everything, her first ballad released as a single. During the summer of 1989, the Real Love video, directed by famous Hollywood director David Fincher, was nominated for 7 MTV Video Music Awards. The next year, she was nominated for 2 Soul Train Awards, an NCAA Image Award for Outstanding Female Artist, and a NARM Award for Best Selling R&B Female Album. It was around this time that Jodi Watley wanted to change her image and musical range. And it was at this time she released her third album, Affairs of the Heart. The album peaked at 124 on the U.S. chart and number 21 on the R&B hip-hop albums chart. It was this album that marked a transition in her career where she was no longer the commercial success she had been prior, but she was receiving critical acclaim for the quality of her music. In fact, it was this particular album that she worked with renowned composer Henry Mancini, and she was also asked to perform the song It All Begins With You at the White House in 1992 by then President George H.W. Bush. Her next album, Intimacy, also had the same results, where it was only a mild to moderate success commercially, but critically it was praised. And this goes to show you that Jodi Watley was not a person who was interested only in making money, only in being a huge star. This is a person that wanted to express herself musically. And that is why she has staying power. Her subsequent albums have been minor to moderate successes. In 1996, she performed on Broadway, performing as Rizzo in Grease. And she has been very active. She's produced several more albums since then. 1997, Flower, the 1999's The Saturday Night Experience, 2000, Midnight Lounge, I think it was 2000 or 2001. So she has been very active. She may not be as, how can I say this? She may not be as popular as she was in her heyday, but it's the reason why she is truly respected in the music business and the music industry, because of her staying power. So Jodi Watley is now 61 years old, and she is still performing. So there is something I want to say, though. It's just something that I think needs to be mentioned. She has a sister who is named Michelle Watley, who, I'll put it like this: if you've ever watched movies that are a little bit risque, you may remember her as Midori. Yes, her sister was the infamous porn star Midori, who performed during the 90s for the most part, I think she gave up porn many, many years ago. But yes, Jodi Watley had a sister that was involved in the porn business. But Jodi Watley is a legend in the music industry, and she will, I think, continue to